Welcome back everybody to another new comic book day, this time for February 4th, the first new comic book day in February, and I think it's going to be a good one. We got Absolute Superman 16 coming out. You guys know how much I love Absolute Superman. I thought last issue was so good. We've got some DCKO Knightfight stuff as well, and we have Endgame, Ultimate Endgame issue 2, so excited to see how that event continues. But yeah, just a really great new comic book day. So we're outside the parking lot of the comic shop right there. You guys see Casablanca Comics. So when I get home and show you guys the haul, we're also going to talk about Ed Brubaker's Daredevil series. I just started that this past weekend. I'm about halfway through the Omnibus Volume number 1. I should be finishing it in the next couple days, but I wanted to give my thoughts because I think it's so sick, dude. So we're going to talk about Ed Brubaker Daredevil, and then we're also going to choose what I'm going to be reading for the month of February. So going around my comic book room, picking stuff off the shelf, and trying to build a nice TBR for what I'm focused on reading in the month of February. But yeah, let's go inside and get the haul. Alrighty, we're back from the comic book store. You guys see it, nice little haul. I think there's 9 single issues today. And then in addition to that, we have a bonus. We have Batman White Knight, DC Compact. Trying to get all the DC Compacts, cover them here on the channel. Can't wait to get into Batman White Knight. Haven't read it yet. So yeah, everyone down at the shop was saying it's a really great Batman Elseworld story. Can't wait to get into that. So the pick of the week today though, Absolute Superman issue 16. I'm loving Absolute Superman. I think it's my second favorite Absolute title now, right after Absolute Wonder Woman. It's tough. It's real tough. You guys know these Absolute rankings change all the time, but really enjoyed Absolute Superman number 15. The start of the new arc. Juan Ferreira coming in doing the art. So sick. So that's got to be the pick of the week. Close second, though, is the return of the Nice House by the Sea with issue 7. We know this is now a DC Vertigo title, so that should be pretty cool. DC Vertigo coming back in a big way from DC Comics. James Tynion IV. Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Excited to get back into the series. I'll be honest with you though, I don't really remember the first 6 issues, so I might have to reread before I read this one. I'm not sure. I think they should be all on DC Universe Infinite. From DC, we have Batman issue 6. I believe this closes out the first arc from Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez. Arc's been going pretty well so far. Interesting little tidbits on the story, but for me, this art from Jorge Jimenez, this might be the best looking Batman Jorge Jimenez has ever done. He's really in his element. I'm loving his take on this newer kind of version of Gotham, and I think that Matt Fraction is really nailing it on the Batman characterization. We'll have to see where the story goes though. Batgirl number 16 closing out this arc. Not my favorite arc in the series by any means, but I still have belief that Tate Bromwell can bring us to that arc number 1 high for the series. That was pretty sick. DCKO tie-ins, we have Knightfight issue number 4. Closing out this little Batman-centric tie-in to the DCKO event. See if Batman gets reintroduced into the tournament. That could be pretty interesting. We also have, now this one's crazy. I'm glad my shop had a bunch of extras because I originally didn't have my pull list, but we have DCKO Boss Battle. This is going to be insane. You guys see on the cover, we got Homelander, we got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, we got Sabrina the Teenage Witch, we got Samantha the Bear from the IDW series Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Just insane stuff. I have no idea what the heck's going on in this one, how it'll tie into DCKO, the ramifications it'll have for the rest of the DC Universe. No idea, but can't wait to get into that. We also have, over on the Marvel side, their event that's been going on. We have Ultimate Endgame issue number 2. Excited to see this event continue. Pretty solid so far as we see the end of the Ultimate Universe, potentially, right? Ultimate Wolverine issue number 14. I think this is an Ultimate Endgame tie-in technically. Really excited to see Capuccio. He's back on the art. We got Chris Condon really in his element in terms of the writing. So yeah, this should be pretty fun. Ultimate Wolverine issue number 14. And then last but not least, the only indie comic for today, High Strangeness issue number 4. Excited to check this out at some point. None of the creatives on this one I'm familiar with. That was kind of the draw for the previous issues, just creatives that I knew. But yeah, we'll have to see what's going on with this High Strangeness series. But that's what we have for new comic book day, February 4th. That pick of the week has got to be Absolute Superman. Let me know what your pick of the week is down in the comments. But yeah, just a really stacked week from DC. Really impressive stuff. We got the DC Vertigo coming back. We have another issue of Batman from Fraction and Jimenez. just a really excellent new comic book day all around. So yeah, let's get into my thoughts on Daredevil by Brubaker, because I thought it was pretty sick. Daredevil by Ed Brubaker. So you guys know that one of my reading goals this year was to read a lot of Daredevil, but another one of my reading goals to read more Ed Brubaker. So this is two birds with one stone, and I thought it's so sick so far. So I'm about halfway through. The first arc is Daredevil Matt Murdock in prison following the events of Bendis's Daredevil run, which I quite enjoyed last year. The second arc deals with Matt kind of going around Europe in search of someone who killed someone he really loves, right? So no spoilers, kind of light on the spoilers trying to be, but excellent, excellent stuff from Ed Brubaker and Michael Lark on the art. So if you guys are ever interested in seeing more of a crime noir sort of take for Daredevil, I mean, this is it right here. Very grounded, right? We're not dealing with tons of magic or anything like that. It's mostly just filled with a bunch of street level heroes. We see some appearances from Kingpin in the prison. We have some appearances from characters like Bullseye as well. A crazy thing happens in the first arc of this while Daredevil's in prison. Like I was saying, someone close to him ends up dying, or so we think. And that kind of has large ramifications for Daredevil, of course. The second arc involves Daredevil going over to Europe, like I was saying, and he gets into it with Tombstone as one of the villains over there. He gets into it with the Kingpin's wife as well, Vanessa. So yeah, really cool seeing Daredevil just not in New York for once, right? Like he's over there in Europe at some point. He's over in Paris, kind of, you know, taking it to the criminal underworld over in Paris. I love all the stuff with Ben Urich and this new private investigator sort of lady. But Ben Urich allows us to get some insight on what's going on at the Daily Bugle from time to time. There's some appearances from J. Jonah Jameson as well. Oh, and I did want to mention too, the Punisher also makes an appearance while Daredevil is in prison, and that's kind of fun to see. Frank Castle and Daredevil kind of throwing jabs at each other. So yeah, overall, this Omni is off to such a great start. I'm not finished by it, you know, any means. I'm only about halfway through. I imagine I'll probably finish this probably tonight or tomorrow night, and you guys can expect maybe a full review once I talk about everything that I read in the month of January. So I'll definitely be covering Daredevil in slightly more depth. So yeah, look forward to that. But Ed Brubaker and Michael Lark are just killing it on this Daredevil run so far. Really, really enjoying myself. And yeah, let's talk about what I'm reading for the month of February. Starting off in my trade paperback closet, the first thing I'm picking is Head Lopper. This is an Andrew McLean series. People say that he's kind of got some Mike Mignola sort of inspired artwork and writing style, I guess. So we're going to check out Andrew McLean's Head Lopper volume number 1, because Head Lopper is coming back from Image Comics, and I've never read Head Lopper, heard really great things. Before it comes back in a new volume, I want to read the previous one. So we got Head Lopper, first pick for the month of February, TBR. And yeah, next up, we're going to be picking a DC Compact. I want to try to read one of these every single month so I can cover them here on the channel. Really excited about this format. And the first thing that we're going to be picking in order to read for the channel, DC Compact, we got Batwoman Elegy. I've heard it's really, really good from those that like Batwoman, but I've heard also that this series is a little bit overhyped, so I'm excited to see kind of where I land on the spectrum. If I end up loving it, if I think it's overhyped, I'll be sure to let you guys know. So Batwoman Elegy, before Greg Rucka comes back on the Batwoman character, I want to read this little DC Compact. For a deluxe edition, we're going to go down here into my Marvel and DC Deluxes, and we're going to pick Far Sector. So this is a series written by N.K. Jemisin with artwork from Jamal Campbell. Want to get more attuned to Jamal Campbell's kind of work. I'm reading his Zatanna run, the short little mini, right now before he comes back to do his ongoing Zatanna run. But I've also just want to reread Far Sector in this deluxe edition. It's been a couple years since I read Far Sector, so want to reread it in this new format that I just upgraded to last month. So excited about that. That's going to be the deluxe edition choice of the month. And then last but not least, for the Omni choice of the month, you guys see we're on the DC Omnibus shelf, and my buddy Kai Bucks, you guys know, has been featured on the channel quite a few times. He's reading the Question Omnibus, and I kind of want to read it with Kai. So we're going to be picking this, the Question Omnibus. Of course, it's Denny O'Neil, Dennis Cohen classic story. Can't wait to get into this. The Question is a character that I've been meaning to read a lot more of. He's just so interesting to me, being a fan of crime and noir stuff. They say this is the best question material you can read. Denny O'Neil, Dennis Cohen, Question Omnibus Volume Number 1. So that's going to be the last thing on this month's TBR. Everything that I'm reading in the month of February. So we have the Question Omnibus. We have the Far Sector Deluxe Edition. We have the Batwoman Elegy DC Compact. And then last but not least, for a trade paperback, we have Head Lopper Volume Number 1 from Image Comics. And then I guess the real last but not least is my actual book. So you guys know that I read Mickey 7 last month. We're going to try to read Wool, this book 1 of the Silo series from Hugh Howey, the writer. So that's what we're doing for the month of February. Let me know down in the comments what you're planning on reading this month. And while you're down there, leaving a comment, like if you like, subbed if you love. And if you really like it, you can hype it. Helps out the channel. Thank you guys for watching and read more comics.